We head to Geneva to Watches and Wonders to discover the new watch models that will mark the world of fine watchmaking, technically and aesthetically. During this 2022 edition, Montblanc created a surprise with a watch dedicated to the glacier of the same name. A watchmaking object born to provoke emotion and which begins a period of renewal for this beautiful watchmaking house born in 1858. It's the texture of ice with its interlocking network of crystals that have been frozen in time for millennia that inspired the designers of Montblanc after their discovery of the Mer de Glace. A watch completely representative of the brand with a star that represents the 6 glacial valleys. Studying this emblem, it made me want to go and see this phenomenon with my own eyes. The very concept of ice, in fact glaciers, why it inspired them. And what is very interesting is that I fell in love with the glacier, the sea of ice, and coming back down from Chamonix, I said to myself, we're going to create a glacier sundial. So that creates an already huge particularity, because you don't have any glacier dial in watchmaking, and it's impossible to create in theory because it's extremely, well, the glacier is huge. A dial is 0.3 millimeters thick. How do you create the veins, the depth, the color, the rays of a glacier on a dial of 3 millimeters? And we did it. And that creates, for example, a huge difference, a very strong differentiation, and only Montblanc can do that today. Who better than Montblanc to create a glacier dial inspired by Montblanc's sea of ice? There are 30 operations for each dial, so it really is a real challenge in itself. It's a huge challenge, but that's what actually makes it all the more beautiful. 3 different dial colors, blue, green and black, which represent the colors of glacial ice for the Montblanc 1858 iced sea automatic date. The blue ice of the Montblanc Mer de Glace is created by the inclusion of air bubbles in the ice, while the green ice of Antarctica results from the presence of microscopic blooms of snow algae. As for the black, it occurs when the ice has no inclusions, thus absorbing enough light to appear black. It can also be blackened by deposits of volcanic ash in its structure. Examples of this are seen in the polar regions. My goal is to bring a lot of innovation to the brand, very clearly, but always reflecting on the path that has been traveled. What were the stages of the brand? What did our founders want? With what idea? Through this emblem, for example, but also on very fine watchmaking. You should know that in 1927, we developed the first fluted bezel with an arrow. In fact, when you moved the fluted bezel, that was the world for pilots at the time. So you could, by moving it to the left or to the right, you move the little arrow at the same time and you place it where you want on the watch dial. You have to imagine that the pilots of that time, it's quite interesting, when they were flying high, it was very cold, so they had very thick gloves and they couldn't manipulate the functions of the watch, so they could just touch the watch. So they needed a rotating bezel with something that told them something. Rotating bezels, ice, but also oxygen-free dials. That's what Montblanc brings to fine watchmaking, like this incredible Montblanc 1858 Geosphere chronograph. This zero-oxygen watch, limited to 290 pieces, has only advantages for explorers who need a reliable watch to evolve in the most difficult environments. The absence of oxygen inside the movement not only eliminates fogging, which can occur with drastic temperature changes at altitude, but also prevents oxidation. Without oxygen, all components last much longer for greater accuracy over time. High-tech for a watch that should, like its sister, appeal to the mountaineer record holder Nimsdai Purya, the new ambassador for the Glacier Collection from the Montblanc factory.